What if I told you, some of the world's most popular countries for immigrants are quietly becoming the hardest to get into? No headlines. No official announcements. Just silent changes that are stopping thousands of people every single year. Applications getting rejected without clear reasons. Requirements increasing without warning. Processes becoming longer, stricter, and far more competitive than they used to be. And here's the part most people don't realize: by the time you notice these changes, you're already in the system. Spending money. Waiting months. Sometimes years. Only to find out, the door isn't as open as you thought. So before you decide where to move next, you need to see this, because these are 10 countries that are quietly closing their doors to immigrants, and what's really happening behind the scenes might completely change your plans. Let's get one thing clear. Countries are not completely shutting down immigration. People are still moving, visas are still being issued, and opportunities still exist. But the rules of the game have changed. Canada, the dream that's getting harder to reach. For years, Canada has been marketed as one of the easiest and most welcoming countries for immigrants. A place where opportunity meets accessibility. But behind that image, something has changed. The number of applicants has exploded, creating intense competition inside the system. Scores that once guaranteed selection are no longer enough. Processing times are stretching longer, and rejections are becoming more common, even for strong profiles. What used to feel like a clear pathway now feels like a race, where only the top candidates move forward. And for many people, that shift comes as a surprise, after they've already invested heavily into the process. What used to be accessible is now competitive. What used to be predictable is now uncertain. And what used to be possible is now selective. Governments are tightening systems, prioritizing economic value, and filtering applicants more aggressively than ever before. Which means if you don't understand these shifts, you're not just taking a risk, you're making a blind decision. And that's exactly why this video matters. Australia, where qualified is no longer enough. Australia still offers incredible opportunities, but the definition of qualified has evolved. Today, it's not just about meeting requirements, it's about outperforming everyone else applying at the same time. Visa quotas are limited. Skill lists are constantly changing. English test scores, experience levels, and even timing can make or break your chances. So while Australia isn't closed, it has become highly selective in a way that many applicants underestimate. And that's where most people get caught off guard. United Kingdom. Opportunity with a higher price tag. The UK continues to attract global talent, but getting in now comes with significantly higher barriers. Visa costs have increased. Financial requirements are stricter. Employer sponsorship has become more controlled and competitive. This creates a system where opportunity still exists, but access depends heavily on financial readiness and strategic planning. For many, it's no longer just about being eligible, it's about being able to afford the process. Germany, the opportunity trap few expect. Germany is actively looking for skilled workers, which makes it seem like one of the most accessible countries in Europe. But here's where reality kicks in. The process behind that opportunity can be complex, slow, and highly detailed. Recognition of qualifications, documentation, and language requirements can turn a simple plan into a long-term commitment. Many people enter the process expecting speed, and instead face delays that test their patience and resources. Opportunity exists, but accessing it is not as simple as it looks. Japan, open, but on its own terms. Japan has begun opening its doors to foreign workers, but in a very controlled and calculated way. The system is structured around specific needs, industries, and conditions. Long-term settlement is limited, and integration expectations are high. This means that while entry is possible, flexibility is not. You're not just moving to Japan, you're fitting into a system that has very clear boundaries. United Arab Emirates, easy entry, uncertain future. At first glance, the UAE feels like one of the easiest places to move. Quick visas, global jobs, fast relocation. But the long-term reality is different. Your residency is tied to your job or investment. Lose that connection, and your ability to stay can disappear just as quickly. There's little margin for long-term security unless you plan strategically. So while getting in is easy, staying stable is the real challenge. Switzerland, high reward, limited access. Switzerland offers one of the highest standards of living in the world, making it an attractive destination for professionals. However, immigration policies are among the most restrictive in Europe, particularly for non-EU applicants. Work permits are limited, and employers must demonstrate that no suitable local or regional candidate is available before hiring from abroad. This makes Switzerland not just selective, but highly competitive, even for individuals with strong qualifications. France, structured pathways with hidden challenges. France provides multiple immigration pathways, including work visas, student programs, and specialized talent routes. But navigating these pathways often requires patience and precision. Administrative processes can be detailed, documentation requirements are strict, and approval timelines may vary significantly. For many applicants, the challenge lies not in eligibility, but in successfully completing the process. France remains accessible, but only to those who are well prepared and persistent. Netherlands, balancing opportunity and regulation. The Netherlands has become a popular destination for international professionals, particularly in tech and business sectors. However, recent developments indicate a shift toward more controlled immigration. Salary thresholds for skilled migrants, employer sponsorship requirements, and housing constraints are all factors that influence accessibility. These changes don't eliminate opportunity, but they do make the process more selective and dependent on meeting precise criteria. Singapore, precision-based immigration system. Singapore operates one of the most efficient and economically focused immigration systems in the world. Entry is based on strict criteria, including qualifications, salary levels, and the value an individual brings to the economy. Competition is high and approvals are selective, reflecting the country's emphasis on maintaining a highly skilled workforce. For those who meet the standards, the rewards can be significant, but the entry process leaves very little room for error. So what's the real hidden truth behind all of this? It's not that countries are shutting their doors completely. It's that those doors are becoming narrower, more selective, and far more competitive than they appear on the surface. The difference between success and rejection today often comes down to preparation, awareness, and strategy, not just intention. Because in a world where everyone is chasing opportunity, the countries themselves are choosing more carefully than ever before. So here's something to think about. If you were planning to move abroad tomorrow, would you still choose the same country after knowing this? Or would you approach the entire process differently? Because in today's global landscape, it's not just about where you go, it's about how well you understand the system before you get there.